my fellow furniture friends, welcome to my channel Forever Spring Furniture and welcome to another video. This time it will be part 3 of the living room combination makeover. This glass cabinet will be the last one, and yeah, you can already see the color scheme. It will be in pinkish, purplish and black, and we will do some decoupaging with wallpaper and give it a complete new look. And I just want to point one thing out. Look at that. That is it's so cute. It's so grady, and I'm sorry it has to go. It will not go with the new design, but I hope we will make it an equally unique piece without it anyway. So enjoy the video and see you later. As always, we start with giving the piece a good clean. Like the whole piece, inside and out, you want to scrub it down everywhere. And really, every time it's surprising how dirty the water is when you're done cleaning the piece, even though the piece looked like it's in a good condition and it was taken care of and it looks actually clean. Here you see what I mean. It's gross. I'm going to paint the piece inside and out, so I need to remove all the hardware, which I of course should have done before cleaning the piece. Yeah, but so we'll do it now. Finally, it's time to say bye-bye to the lace. All of the shelves had this lace application at the front, and it just had to go, even though I really like the granny look. But there were some remainings or residues of the glue, and I found it was the most easy way to remove it by, how would you say it, pushing it away or rolling it away with my fingers. It worked nicely, but don't ask how much the skin on my fingers looked like after I was done. When all the glue was gone and the whole piece was cleaned properly, I have to say we in this case, started to paint. This time I had some help of my 5-year-old daughter. She was very keen on helping mommy and messing around with the color a bit. But I think she's actually doing a rather good job. I like to do a little scratch test after the first layer of paint, and as you can see, adhesion is good. The inside of the whole cupboard will be black, and I used a black water-based acrylic paint which I could easily roll on because I really have no ornaments or just flat surfaces, and it was a pretty quick process to paint it black, but in the end it took me 3 layers of paint to get full coverage. In between each layer I gave it a quick sand using a 240 grit sanding paper to knock down all the little bumps. You can see here, even with the second layer of paint on, it is still a bit translucent, so definitely a 3rd layer of paint was needed. And I of course repeated the whole process, or the same process, on the inside of the cupboard. This wallpaper here was the inspiration for my piece. I saw it, I loved it, and I wanted to have it for the back panel of my cupboard, and yeah, designed the rest of it according to the colors that you see here. I speed up the video here a bit because I really took my time to properly align the pattern and to cut it to the right size. And a little advice from my side here. If you do some decoupage with whichever material and paper you use, but if you have bigger pieces of material, you want to measure properly and then you measure again. And if you're not 100% sure, you just measure again before you cut. One piece is already cut to the right size, so I can use that one as a template. And then I just cut along the line, hoping that I did everything right and measured correctly. So let's bring the wallpaper onto the back panel of the cupboard. I use wood glue here. I did it before and the wood glue did a really good job with the wallpaper on furniture. So I just go with the same material again. I apply a good amount and then I use one of these little plastic spatulas to move it around and to make a smooth surface, and yeah, basically cover the whole of my back panel with a bit of glue. And then I try to bring the wallpaper on without any air bubbles trapped. I use my hand first to press the wallpaper onto the back panel. Here I got some of the glue onto my finger. Yeah, I of course don't want to have any glue spots on the wallpaper, so clean my fingers first. And when I'm done pressing it on, I will use another clean plastic spatula, or you can use an old credit card or something like that, and rub over it again gently to get all the air bubbles out. I repeated the process with the second half until I was done, and that's how it looks like. I had a tiny bit of excess wallpaper in the lower edge, so I took a sharp knife or a sharp blade and cut it off. The backing and the whole inside of the glass cabinet is done now, and it's time to start painting. My idea was to paint most of the outside in this color. It's called Orchid. It's a purplish pinkish color, and then have a bit of black coming from the bottom that's going to like flame into the orchid. So I put a first layer on and it was quite translucent, and I wasn't really confident that this color will give me a good coverage, especially on the dark knots, which you will see in a moment. Here I point them out. Now the first layer has dried, and yes, you can see that these pine knots, they are quite dark, and I decided in the end to don't continue with the paint right now, but give it a layer of primer, of blocking primer, to make sure that I will not have any bleed through in the areas of the pine knots. I gave it a light sand with a 180 sanding paper and then came in with the primer. This product is really doing a good job. So it's a bit tricky to lay on. So with a brush, it's terrible. It looks just very streaky and is very uneven. But with the roller, it's fine. And as you can see, the coverage is great. So one layer of it on, and you see nothing of the pine knots anymore. I show you the speedy version now. Code number 1, so let's call it code number 1.2 because we already had one coat of orchid on right under the primer. Here comes coat number 2, and under normal circumstances I would expect that 2 coats of paint, especially with a primer underneath, gives me good coverage. But look at it, it looks terrible, so I was willing to give it a 3rd coat of paint, and as always in between coats I give it a light sand using a 240 grit sanding paper. This time I used a bit of water in the hope that I can move the color around a bit more easy, and somehow it will give me a better picture in the end. Hello everyone, this is a short intermezzo which I normally don't do, but I have the really urgent need to talk about the progress or the non-existing progress with my piece. Yeah, so after the 2nd coat of paint I was a bit confused because normally the paint of this specific manufacturer is really good and you have a beautiful coverage after 2 coats of paint and it's done. So I gave it a 3rd coat of paint because I wanted to finish it, and then I got kind of angry and said, come on now, one last chance I give you, and gave it a 4th coat of paint. And then I was ready to accept that this time I'm just getting a crappy finish. But I got in contact with the manufacturer and explained what's going on, and the service was super. So they responded within like 24 hours, and another day later they brought another can of paint on the way, and I have it now, and let me show you. I made a sample. Here we go. So that's the first paint I use, and on the other side it's the new can I got, and as you can see the coverage, on this one, so this here is with 2 coats of paint, is much better, so like like you normally would expect it. And yeah, so just for fun I will give the whole piece now a 5th coat of paint, and if I'm then not happy with it I just have to accept it. But I really hope that we found a solution to the problem now, and that it will look good in the end and it was worth the work. So fingers crossed, and you'll see the result at the end of the video. So I don't show you how I apply the 5th coat of paint, but let's jump to the 2nd color I want to give the piece, or the outside of the piece, which is black. I said I want to have the black coming from the bottom up and like flame into the orchid, and I used a simple cheap chip brush for it, and yeah, just worked my way up until I liked how far I got the black up and the shape of. And I didn't record it, but after the paint job was done I sealed everything in with 2 coats of a PU enhanced clear coat. That's my favorite one. I basically used it in every piece. I purchased some simple black legs for the cupboard. And now it's time to attach them. I marked the drill holes and actually drilled the holes, but of course I didn't record, I forgot it again. How I screw it on, it's of course not necessary, but I mean, it would be nice to have the complete picture. Shame on me. Finally, it's time to assemble the rest of the piece. So the hinges go back on the doors and the doors go into the cupboard. And really the final step was a bit of detail work. Actually, it was quite a lot of detail work. As you can see, even though I taped off the glass, some of the primer got under the tape, and now I have to scratch it off to make it look tidy and neat. and that over a distance of around about 3 meters, so it took quite some time. Hello again, it's the end of the video and I can't believe it, but this piece is done. It took much longer than expected and it was much more work than expected. Yeah, but in the end we found a solution to the problem and overcame the obstacles, right? And actually it turned out as I had in mind, so all fine. Yeah, if you like the video and the project, please leave me a thumbs up or a comment and subscribe. There will be more videos coming. I leave a link to my Instagram account below. I have some more information there in German. And for the rest, see you soon. Bye bye and bis bald.